Josh Raven here with the Daily Dot at DreamHack Austin, joined by JDM from CLG, unfortunately, after that loss to Cloud9 in the final group stage game, I believe it was. And, I mean, we can go straight into that game. It was a pretty up-and-down, topsy-turvy series. It appears no one won any T-side rounds. Yep. Can you explain exactly what happened in your own words there and why you weren't able to come out on top?
I mean, I just don't think we were getting the entries on T-side, and that's like a huge thing for us is like, if we don't get the entries, then most of the time we kind of just shut down. And I think that's what pretty much was happening. Like, it just felt like nothing was clicking on T-sides. Our Cash, our Mirage, our Dust 2. Like, we had all, like, decent, like, CT side halves for all three maps, but, like, our T-side, we just couldn't get anything done. So, yeah.
And what do you think is the problem with the T-sides? Why can no teams kind of, what, you and Cloud9, neither of you could really figure out how to play the T-sides at all? For you, you said it was the entry problem. What do you think it was for Cloud9? Why couldn't they shape it up either?
You know, for them, they're kind of a newer, like, lineup with Slemmy in the lineup. So maybe it's more strategy for them. For us, it's just it just felt like it was more of like a entry, like, you know, sometimes I couldn't even get an entry. Our other teammates couldn't get an entry. So I think it was just between them and us. It was just more of like a strategy versus just getting out aimed T side. So
towards the end of that third map, obviously Cloud9 mounting and yet another comeback on the CT side. Does that kind of creep into your mentality as you're playing? Are you able to keep a level head and do it round by round, or could you kind of feel it slipping away? And did that affect you in a negative way?
I mean, it's normal to have that feeling, like, yeah, they're creeping up, but you always got to stay positive. You got to have the right mindset of just continuing and, you know, take each round by itself, one round at a time. So you don't want to think that way at all. I mean, everyone, you know, goes through it and sees it, and they're like, oh, shoot, you know, this is not looking so good. But, I mean, like I said, you just got to have the right mindset. But I don't know. We just couldn't get anything going on T side. So,
okay. Well, in that series, we did see a pretty epic battle between you and Skadoodle on the AWP. And on a more positive note, in this tournament so far, you've had a pretty outstanding performance. I think earlier in the day you dropped something like 35 frags against Selfless. It might have been. I
think it was Splice. Yeah,
against Splice. Yeah. So, how did you rate your own personal performance in this tournament, as separated from your team? Because in some of the matches you did very well.
Yeah. I still have a lot of stuff I need to work on. I don't know. I feel like I could have done more, especially Dust 2 T side, that last map. And you know, it just ends up becoming like just a team thing. Like we're still like losing rounds where we're up 4v2, and that's just like crucial. That's a given round that you should be winning, and you know, and I think that happened on Cash actually. We had a T side round. It was a 4v2, and we ended up losing it. And, you know, like, Cash was, like, super close. So it's just those simple things, simple mistakes that can actually cost you the game. So.
Okay. Recently, there's been a kind of a shuffle of activity in North America. Obviously, Team Liquid lost Simple. Cloud9 picked up Slemmy for Freakazoid. And we're going to disregard Luminosity and Tempo Storm for this question. But how would you say you rank among those kind of top teams now? You know, Cloud9, Liquid, kind of up there. Do you see yourselves as creeping up on number 1, number 3?
Yeah.
Where kind of roughly where
honestly,
do you see yourself?
Like, this is how I've always felt with NA teams, especially nowadays, like, with just the rosters now, the current rosters. I think it can go anyone's way. Like, you know, I think it's whoever shows up that day is going to be the best NA team. And unfortunately, that wasn't us. But I think at any given moment, at any tournament, if we were to play them again tomorrow, you know, we could win that BO3. Like, it's not like they're so much better than us. It's not like we're better than them. You know, they just beat us. But like I said, I think it's just at any given day, whoever shows up is going to win.
Okay, and transitioning that into future playing against European opponents, maybe, do you think with the lineups currently set as they are, yours included, you, Team Liquid, Cloud9, all those guys, do you think you see yourselves having more of a chance to compete against the top European teams in the future? You know, Liquid maybe going a bit further than that semi-final. You guys lost to Liquid last time, but going a little bit further as well. How do you think that's going to pan out in the future?
You know, Honestly, it's like sometimes I'd rather like actually face European teams because they don't really know how we play. Whereas every team knows how each other plays. So it's just more of like who shows up that day and like out aims the person. I feel like for NA at least. For European, it's just like when we play European teams, it's like, you know, we can play our game. We can try to throw something at them that we know that they don't know, you know, or haven't seen from us. And I think that's the difference between us playing European teams and NA teams. So we've like lately in the past like few months, it just seems like we've always struggled against NA teams, whereas we play better when we play against European teams.
Okay, well, we'll see how you do in the future there. Bring it back to DreamHack before we let you go. Obviously, you guys are now unfortunately out of the tournament. Who do you see, and you're going to say Luminosity, I know, but who do you see winning this tournament? And if it's not going to be Luminosity, who would you think are the dark horses to maybe take them by surprise?
I think Luminosity is going to win it, but I think it's going to be Luminosity and Tempo in the final. And I wouldn't even necessarily say that like Tempo is a dark horse at all, because they're an insane team, and especially with them winning SIVO recently, they're gonna have they have so much confidence right now. So I think it's gonna come down to a final of Luminosity versus Tempo. So
okay. And lastly, where are we gonna see CLG next? Where are you competing off to next?
Say that again.
Where are you competing next?
We will be competing in the Turner League. So I think our next event, is in Turner. We still have like a couple. We got to finish out the Face It season, ECS League. I think that's what it is. I think we have like 3 more matches, and then come June, beginning of June, we have the Turner. So.